Uh, my neighborhood was always pretty turbulent. There's always a lot of turf war, a lot of fighting in between various gangs because I was just situated in such an important corner when it came to drugs. But just being surrounded by that, at least I grew up thinking it was normal. And then put in an environment where it's not normal, I felt like what is normal becomes abnormal in a sense. And what is abnormal to others is everyday life for me.
My name is Jenna Berlinberg. I'm a computer science major from San Jose, California.
My name is Freddy Soltero from Linwood, California. Not much to my story. I've dealt with my own history of anxiety issues, primarily PTSD, but depression as well resulting from it.
I have major depressive disorder, and there's a comma after it, recurring. So it goes like wee, 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 wee. Like I never know, like it could change within like the span of a day or like a month, whether or not I'm like in a very depressive mood or feeling kind of normal, which is annoying.
From a young age, I was just always surrounded by violence, both just from within family, seeing a lot of my cousins were involved in gangs, so seeing them go through things, and particularly what really gets to me is very young age, I saw one of my best friends be shot and killed in the street. I was about 10 years old.
I think one of the like first really bad anxiety attacks I had was actually when I was around 8 or so. I started having an existential crisis of sorts, like worrying a lot about death. I think part of it was my grandpa had died, and I don't know, it was just all around. I just started worrying a lot more about death, and I ended up being very anxious.
Second year here at LMU, my cousin was shot and killed by her ex-boyfriend in a gang fight. So that kind of precipitates the anxiety. The depression just comes from having lost so many people. By the time I was 18, I've lost about 3 friends, and by the time I was 20, I lost 3 friends, 2 cousins, and proceeded to lose another friend.
Well, for a while I was self-harming, and my sister found out and then told my parents, and so I started seeing a psychiatrist. They got me medicated, and then from there we kept adding therapy on and on and on.
So it's just something that plays back a lot. And usually what triggers me is oddly enough, anything. Most days it usually just comes with nightmares. I just sleep about it. But it's not usually the primary thing, just always having a sense of danger, even at LMU, just being around people. I always have this mentality that I always have to be hyper vigilant, like someone's a threat.
I have to like check in with myself consistently. Like if my friends are like, hey, we're all gonna go out and do this thing, I have to make sure like, am I like socially available for this? Like, do I have the energy for this? It just kind of like depends on the moment, really.
It just seemed like never ended even when I came to LMU. A friend of mine, he went to LMU, overdosed from Xanax. And it just seemed like a breaking point. You only can put so many straws on the camel before it's too much to bear. And I had to take a leave of absence even from LMU. I felt I was safe here. I felt as soon as I left my neighborhood, nothing can really bother me here.
So if you go back in time, what advice do you have for your younger self?
It's just that, like, I know it seems like you're always sitting in a room of people that don't always understand, or you think that they don't want to hear what you have to say, but it's okay to take that step, and it'd like do you a lot more good to take that step.
Don't try to dismiss it because you don't want to admit it. I understand. Opening up to family and friends saying, I'm depressed, I have something wrong with me. It sounds much easier to just dismiss it as like you're just stressed out. You're entering adulthood. It's a learning process.
There's a lot of people who have done this, but I think the one who really hammered it in the most was when I was in boarding school. They kind of place you in a very structured environment to kind of like send a shock through you so you can like rebuild yourself from the bottom up, sort of. And my therapist there, she was the type of person who, like, if you could just you'd tell her whatever issues you were having, and she'd like look at you straight in the eye and would be like, well, that's bullshit, and this is what you need to do to fix it, and stuff like that. Like, honestly, having people to just tell you straight up that you're being weird or paranoid and stuff like that, having like, you're feeling this and that's valid, but you need to change it, that sort of thing.
Be empathetic. Don't be sympathetic. Listen to what they have to say. Listen to their story. They're going through it. You're not going through it. So really just listen to them. It's probably the best thing you can do for someone.
Don't push people to open up, but definitely make sure they're always aware that you are there for them when they feel that they're ready to. Just say, like, you see, like, if they're acting out or doing something, just be like, it seems like there's something wrong. You can talk to me whenever you want. You might not be ready now, but just know, like, I'll be ready.
If no one else is going to support you, as was my case, I culturally think it's not something you speak about. But at the end of the day, remember, it's not about them, it's about yourself. So if you're not going to do it for anyone else, don't do it for anyone else. Do it for yourself.
And also be okay with someone coming to you and saying, like, I don't need you to fix me, I just need someone to listen right now. And just sitting there and listening to what they have to say. Because sometimes people know what they need to do, but they just need to, like, get it out in the air before they can realize what they really do need to do.
It gets better. It really does. You can't give up. And trying to tell myself that the longer you tell yourself you're going to stay in it, the easier it is to just fall into a spiral and hit the lowest of lows. But even the lowest low, you can still climb yourself out of. And that's what I tell myself. You can hit rock bottom thinking you can't get any lower, but that just means you only have up to look up to. So to tell myself that, it really is just see the way out of it. There's always a way out. You're never really stuck.
Good luck. Oh, and don't be afraid to be happy with the little victories. Like, be proud of yourself for being alive and for being here and being in college. Like, not everyone is able to be in college, whether it's for mental health or, like, economic or other reasons. Just, like, take advantage of this opportunity and don't waste it, and be kind to yourself.
Don't feel that your story is so unique that no one can really relate to it. That's what stopped me from getting help for so many years. Feeling that I go to a school that very few people understand my story. But realizing that it doesn't take understanding. A lot of the times it's just someone who's really willing to listen to your story.